Welcome to the How to Publish Your Book podcast, where we're helping writers become authors. I'm Ashley Shannon, and I'm here with my co-host, Kerry McAvoy, and today we are interviewing Tara Blair Ball.
Tara, I first became aware of her as a blogger. I fell in love with her work. Her advice was relationship focused and just spot on, and I really admired her. So I became one of her fans. And then I began to get to know her as a writer and found out that she actually is also an author. And she's published 2 books. One is a memoir, The Beginning of the End, and then she also wrote a second called Stop Wasting Your Time on Women Who Don't Want You. So she often helps men and women with dating and relationship issues. And lately, she's been on TikTok, and it's been fun to watch her do that. I've just been really loving watching that process. So we're here together today to talk to her about her growth as an author writer and also this growth into this new social media. And I can't wait to hear all about it. So welcome, Tara.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So tell me, how did you first begin to start writing? When did that happen and what got you into it? Were you always doing this or did you make a career transition? Kind of how did that happen?
I was definitely always reading. I'm one of those people who, like, in 3rd grade was like, I'm going to be a writer. I did not start writing professionally until I was getting a master's in writing. I got my bachelor's in writing. I went and got a master's in writing. And it was after then that I just was getting encouraged through the program to publish. My master's is in poetry, so that's what I was doing primarily. It was not until the end of my final year that I started really enjoying writing nonfiction and personal essays. But still, my writing really did not become the way it is today until I was going through what ended up being the end of my marriage and my divorce. So the beginning of the end is my memoir of discovering about my husband was a secret drug addict, that he'd embezzled from his job. I ended up having 2 miscarriages all in the space of 9 months. And writing became literally the way that I was surviving through that time. Like, I was in a writing group at the time, and every week or every month we would meet and have a chapter or a section. And I was literally writing about everything that was going on in my life at the time. And I used that to sort of propel. I ended up blogging, and I was just using it as a platform to just process sort of my divorce and my feelings about it. And a lot of people ended up relating to it. And eventually I started shifting to making it connected to relationship coaching full time and connecting it to that and sort of moving away from processing my own personal experience. And that's just sort of how it propelled, and it just kept going from there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Were you shocked when people started resonating with your story?
Yes and no. I mean, as a relationship coach, you're just sort of you always hear everybody sort of has their own awful story.
Right.
I didn't realize that it would take off as much as it did.
Mm-hmm.
But we all kind of have our deepest, darkest that we kind of go through, and people could really relate to that part of it.
Yeah, but one of the things I think that really makes you stand out, and it's similar to other people I see doing really well, and it's one thing that Ashley and I both try to do as well, is that you're vulnerable. Your pieces are like,
Thank you.
yeah, there's a rawness to them, an incredible honesty to them that I think that makes you really relatable. I mean, it's dangerous because then you give people ammunition about yourself, but
Yeah.
But it's also, for like you said, we all have gone through rough things, and it makes you really, really relatable.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love that about your work. So now, were you right away on social media, or how did that all kind of come about?
So for Tara Blair Ball is not my real name. Tara is my real name, but Blair Ball is not. And that was a choice that I made because my ex-husband started stalking my writing. I started receiving actual death threats from other people who had a big response. Like, anytime I've written about cheating, I've gotten very angry hate mail, death threats from men. So it became a conscious choice to not only make sure that when my children grow up that they're not reading specifically about, the things that happen with their father, but also just protecting my family by having this other name. So for that reason, like, I just picked a stock photo of a woman, and that was my photo. That was Tara Blair Ball for a long time. So social media, I did not really engage with because it requires you to show your face.
Yes.
So for a long time, I really didn't engage much with it. And then since I was moving so much away from the divorce and all of that part and not needing to process and not wanting my writing to be a place for that, I started to feel more comfortable sort of putting my own face out there and being more mindful about what I was posting. Since this is the name that I'm now known by, I'm just going to keep that, which is fine. But when I started to get more comfortable with showing my face and connecting with that, then I was more willing and able to do social media. So I started with Instagram, and I wasn't getting a lot of traction with that. Instagram just is so saturated. I didn't really want to do Facebook much because I have my own Facebook account for my real name, and it seemed weird to sort of spend that much energy on this other account. But I kept hearing people talk about TikTok, and I'd read some articles about being on TikTok, and heard Gary Vee's speeches about getting on TikTok. But I still was sort of hesitant because I hate it. I hate seeing my face all the time. I hate videoing. It's really uncomfortable for me. Um, but I just kept hearing it. And I also was very inspired by Carrie Wynn. She's another writer who has a TikTok. And eventually I found out that through TikTok you can get paid after you have a certain number of followers and certain number of views. When I heard that, I was more willing.
Right?
I was like, oh.
You can sign me up now.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
So yeah, tell us how that migration happened. How did you like dip your toe in and I think that's the other part. There's a problem for writers is we end up thinking, well, we write about life stories, and so how or we're writers writing a book. So how in the world do we sell? What do we have to say on TikTok? I know that
mhm,
for myself as a psychologist, I could think, well, I can offer psychological tips, but I don't really want to sell myself as a coach. I'm not looking to have a counseling practice. So
mhm,
it becomes kind of like that's even when we do CTAs, it's like, well, what are we really selling? So
mhm.
how's that process been for you then?
So I started out just sort of like posting videos about I chose a like I wrote a wide range of topics and just like posting little videos about like here's dating advice, here's codependency, here's what retroactive jealousy is. Like just doing different things that were related to content I'd already written. So that's how I started, is sort of just taking content I'd already written and dealt with and trying to repackage it in tiny videos. And I even did several series because clearly you're writing a 1,200 word essay or article. That's not going to translate very well to a short, less than a minute video. So I was doing that and it really wasn't getting much traction from that. I'd get some views here, some views there. And um, ended up doing following a trend. And they definitely recommend that for figuring out your sort of niche. Like be mindful of watch your For You page, be mindful of the videos that you keep seeing over and over again, and see if there's any trends you can sort of catch in the beginning. And there was this one trend that I saw that was two people. In my case, I played both characters, um, of a of a relationship, and they're kind of toxic. So that was the example that I saw. And so I chose to take that trend, and it was a sound and the clipping or whatever. I chose to play with that and pretend it's a codependent couple. That was my first video that went viral. Just like anything, just like in my writing and things like that, when something goes viral, I really try to focus on those successes and why that was successful. So from that video, I then did another similar video, not exactly the same, but the same topic. And I just sort of kept going from there. You also have the option with TikTok to answer comments with videos. So I was doing that too. So um, responding to viewers, responding to fans and followers. I also started adding at the end of each of my videos a little call to action, like hit the plus and like for more like this. And after that, I really started seeing more likes, more follows, and people were giving me things to talk about, just like in our
Mhm.
articles. They were asking
Mhm.
questions in their comments and things like that, and that would propel my next sort of video. And because those all ended up taking off, all of my videos are pretty much aligned in unhealthy relating patterns like poor communication, codependency. Um, and then in terms of in my bio link, which is not available to all TikTokers, there is a way that if you sign up to be a TikTok tester, uh, you can add the bio link to yours if you're a creator, because not everybody has it when they sign up for the app. So I then would, I might direct somebody to an article of mine that was related to a topic, or right now I have a quiz for, are you codependent? And it's just a simple quiz where they have to put in their email address so then I can add it to my email list. So just keeping up and thinking about different ways to bring for that. And then once I reached 10,000 followers, I was able to register and apply for the TikTok Creator Fund. And so now I'm getting paid through that. So that's sort of how it worked. I ended up qualifying for the TikTok Creator Fund in less than a month. Like it literally was 29 days that I qualified for it. Wow. And I did that through several different ways. Do you want me to talk about it now?
Sure. Yeah. I'd love it because I think the other thing is there's pacing to it. I have a couple questions. One is there's a pacing to frequency. We all know that we can't just dump something once and walk away. It's got to be consistent to consistently show up. But I was curious if you saw it bleed into your other parts of your work. So, in other words,
what do you mean?
In other words, do they show up on your webpage? Are they looking for your book that you've written? I mean, are you seeing it have a bigger impact on your overall brand as a whole? So those are both questions I was thinking of when you were talking about that.
Mm-hmm. So definitely when you talk about consistency, posting around 2 to 3 times a day seems to be ideal. People will say, post on these certain times. I did that for a little bit and I just didn't see it really matter much. Once you get like your true fans and your true followers, they will see your stuff. TikTok also rewards you if you are engaging. So, make sure that you go in, comment on other people's posts, respond to your comments, like the comments, go find other people to follow that you find inspiring to go from there. Mm-hmm. Also follow trends. That's a big thing, is like be looking at what is continually appearing on the For You page and see if you can adopt it to your niche. I think one thing that is helpful for us as writers is we've usually sort of figured out our niche, what we like writing about, what we care about, and just continuing with that. I'm not, I don't know. I don't necessarily like post a lot of videos of my personal life, but I do some, and those just never do as well as my more like niche topic ones.
Yeah, one of the more recent ones, I don't know when you put it up, was your growing family.
Yeah,
I love that one. Yeah. It was so cool.
Thank you.
Now, that's not doing particularly well compared to for example, the toxic ones?
No, I think people like them, because TikTok is very much about being genuine. So I think people like that and like seeing that. And when I'm talking about codependency and unhealthy relationships, I also recovered from one. So I think it's relatable for my specific niche and how in the other videos that I'm doing. But it's just, my time is so precious that I try to use it in ways that make the most sense. So for me, like a codependency video is like a sure hit with my fans. So if I have limited time, I'd rather do something on that than something else. But it's never bad to just throw up a video that you just like to throw up, or if you're just interested in something or playing with something, yeah, do it. But being mindful of our time. We just don't have time to post 80 million times a day. Also, a recommendation is choosing hashtags that have 1 million or less views. That's information I got from another TikToker that I've found to be helpful. It's just if someone, searches for a specific hashtag, you will appear more easily than if it's a hashtag that has been viewed 1 billion something times. Right. That does mean that sometimes you're looking at hashtags that are misspelled. Like a lot of people, I guess, hashtag codependence and they have misspelled it, which is like terrible as a writer to like hashtag a misspelling, but it has less views overall than these other hashtags where it's spelled correctly.
That's funny.
Yes. So playing with that. Yeah.
Wow.
It's very interesting, but
Yeah.
also very daunting because one, she said post 2 to 3 times a day. Okay. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
But
my brain won't.
also, I
Go ahead.
know, but also like it's interesting. The time commitment is one of the reasons I have not tried to pursue it at all. In fact, I just downloaded the app for the first time less than a month ago.
Mhm.
And then found that I spent like 7 hours on it in the total of like 12 hours that I had it. And I was like, this is dangerous. Like, I gotta delete this. I gotta get some work done today. But like my whole brand is my personal life. So like you do relationships and stuff like that. And Carrie's a psychologist and she has those things. But honestly, I mean, my whole brand is just my messy life. So
Mhm.
then I kind of wonder if maybe that wouldn't work on that kind of a thing if you're seeing that your personal videos don't do that great.
Well, that's the thing. I think it matters what you put out. I think it
Mhm.
matters what you put out. So for me, my personal videos are sporadic. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not consistent about those. And I really only started because I ended up getting into this TikTok competition called The Apprentice, which paired me with a coach. And the winning prize is like 5 coaches with over 1 million followers, like shout your name to the rooftops. That's what, but I was working specifically with someone who does this for a living. She advises brands on how to build their TikTok followers. And her whole thing was do as much of that as possible. She thinks you should do everything. Whatever you want to do, just do it. So do your
Mhm.
family, do your thing. But I think for myself, the fact that I don't do them consistently is why they don't do as well. And limited time, you know. So
Yeah.
if you are your brand, it'd be so easy for you to do a short little video and post it of your son or you or
Mhm.
some aspect of your life that and the videos don't have to look great. That's what's great about TikTok is it's not very polished. I'm not wearing makeup in most of my videos, you know, and that was a block for me at first of like, I've got to look nice, you know?
Right.
So I think if you started that from the beginning, you could totally.
Yeah, because one of the ones I've just recently came across was actually she's military leaving the branch she's leaving, and she's upset with what's happened around a court case, and she's just sharing her story, and she's usually in the car,
Yeah.
and she's doing really well. I mean, every time she's in the car and she's sharing something new, and I thought, you know what, whatever you do, just do it consistently and be you. That's what I've
Yeah.
noticed.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's going for me, it's so much out of my comfort zone. I really have to go live more often, which you can go once you've gotten 1,000 followers, you can start going live. And that was hugely uncomfortable for me in the beginning because it's like in the beginning, I didn't really have people who are willing to ask questions. So it'd just be me like talking for like 10 minutes and like nobody asking questions. But that's another way that you can really build your views, grab more followers. It can help all of that. And people can give you gifts during your lives, which translate to actual money. Each one is like, I think 5 cents or something each gift. And you'll see, you might go into some TikTok people's lives and they're just getting gifts after gifts after gifts. Um, so it's just it's just another way to keep building that connection. And
Mhm.
it's very,
That's interesting.
very uncomfortable.
So, what would you say if someone's just getting started? What would you say they should begin to do first? What would be like the first step, second step, third step? Do you have an idea of what you would recommend?
First step, I would say, is there are plenty of TikTok coaches, and these are people who they their videos are primarily tutorials like here's how to do this trend or this new thing is trending. Definitely follow those people. Some people that I follow that I really appreciate. One is the Mrs. Peterson. It's Pedersen. There is Wave Wild, which is that's one word, and wild is spelled WYLD. There's also Johnny Blue Eyes, which is spelled it's one word, but if you just search, those are people that's what they do is they post these tutorials and they'll post a video that'll be like this is a trend, this is how you can do it. So following those kind of people can just give you ideas and also teach you about the app as you go. I've definitely had to go search through their tutorials to be like, how on earth do I do that transition? It looks so difficult. Um, and they just, there's a trend that I haven't heard about. So clearly once they have seen it and posted about it, it's then going to blow up. So as soon as you see it, you sort of need to jump on it. So that would be the first step. And the second step is just play with posting, try different things, if you see something easy, like I remember I breastfeed my baby, and I remember seeing this little video that was like, show your boobs to your breastfed baby and record their reaction, so clearly I'm not showing my boobs, but like it's a video of my baby's face, and then I lifted my shirt so she could see my boobs, but you just see the baby's face. And that doing funny things like that just sort of helped me get more and more comfortable, and to talking videos, like taking the time to talk. I did several videos that are just like pointing, but people like hearing people's voices. You do also want to provide closed captioning. So you want to add text to the screen, which is a pain that you're putting it. But I, for one, will scroll through the app a lot and don't have the sound on. So, I will scroll past people's videos if I can't read what they're saying. So that's another way that you're helping to be more accessible to your audience if they're, hard of hearing, or if they don't want to listen, But using your voice, talking, and just being yourself. I've been surprised how much people just that's what they like and they relate, is just you in your unpolished form. It's very different from Instagram, where you've got to be photoshopped and your life's great. And it's okay to be really messy on TikTok.
Are you finding that you're focusing less on other medias as a result of this?
Oh yeah.
To
Oh
me, it's like,
yeah.
oh my goodness, the time in
Yeah.
this. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah. But yes. And partly it's just because you get so much in return once you start picking up. I just felt like Instagram is so saturated that I just wasn't getting the kind of response or engagement. And you can post TikTok videos to Instagram. Instagram now penalizes those videos if they have a TikTok watermark. So before you post the TikTok, you need to screenshot it, or there's an app called Save Talk that you can use to save your video without the watermark. So you can, put it to there. I just found that time consuming, and for me, it wasn't equaling more traffic or anything like that. I'm just I think I came to Instagram way too late to sort of reap the benefits from it. TikTok, though, it's still relatively early, and people can just blow up because of it. And I find that the fans are so much kinder. I
Mm.
really haven't had a lot. I've had maybe like 2 or 3 mean comments. And what's amazing is often the other commenters will respond to the asshole to say, I don't know if you can use asshole on your podcast. I'm sorry, but like
We're an explicit podcast. It's
okay, all right.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Will respond and like be like, well, that's not really nice, or you need to go to therapy, or like, so you don't even have to step in and be like, that's not okay, because it's just a different audience. It
I've
really is.
noticed that. I actually run through the comments on some of them, and I think it was one of yours, and I noticed people like got right after somebody, and I was like, whoo! I was
Yeah.
really impressed.
Hmm. It's very it's a different way of doing social media. It's that I really appreciate. I think it's just more relatable and genuine.
So, do you think this is changing where you're heading for the future?
I don't know. Clearly, my audience wants more codependency stuff. So I've thought about, doing different kinds, thinking about what kind of content I could write specifically to codependence, because I've written a lot of content on it before, but I'm running out. So I don't know. It's really unclear for me what direction I need to take. The people are willing. They love my videos, and they're willing to sort of be a true fan. So I'm still trying to figure out how to work that, and my time is so limited. So
Yeah.
um it's different, and it's very unexpected to me.
Right, because that's my thought was it's another huge time sink, and then
Mhm.
writing is a time sink. I just wondered if you find that you're spending more time on video than you are writing, and is that how are you feeling about that? And you feel like there's more benefit by doing this, spending more effort in this direction versus writing? I don't know. You,
Mhm. It's just different. I, some days I'd really prefer to do a TikTok video versus write a story because they're just fun to make, and it's to me it's totally new and different to play with, moving my ring stand and learning a transition. And I think I'm still sort of in the honeymoon phase, so I'm willing to sort of cut time away from my writing to do these little videos because I have fun with them, and I have fun with the app. And I don't know what that will mean for my writing long term. I still write plenty. It's just a different I'm writing differently today. I have multiple income streams. I write for clients. I blog personally. I write for Newsbreak, which is changing what they want for their writers too. So because of that, I'm kind of all over the place in terms of my writing. And if I want to add in something about codependency, that's a new thing too. Plus, I write things for my clients, and they're generally, men who are needing dating help. So I'm just kind of all across the board, and I'm curious if sort of focusing more energy on this TikTok thing will kind of force me to niche more overall. But I'll sort of see. I'm sort of all across the board right now, which isn't bad. I do also run my husband's TikTok, so that's a different beast.
now, what's he TikToking about?
So it's funny, I actually started on TikTok in I think November or December of last year. And I had an account on TikTok, and I was sort of playing around with it, but my baby was only a month or two old, and
Mhm.
it just felt like too much. And I ended up posting this cute little video of my husband and our baby, and didn't think about it for a couple days. Went and looked at it, and then his account had over 300 followers, and his one video had been viewed 28,000 times.
Oh,
So
wow.
so clearly TikTok loves dads with babies, clearly. So we just sort of like that was actually my first real introduction to playing with TikTok. Is I just was like videoing videos of my husband just being him. He's a very present great father, and just I was videoing him with our daughter. And he very within 2 months had 16,000 followers. So I was doing that for a while, just sort of like I was the one making the videos, producing them. Like he was just, I guess, he was just the Vanna White. Like I'm here, like videoing him. And today his account does he does a lot of affiliate marketing where he's selling baby products that he gets cuts from. Plus, he's in the TikTok Creator Fund, and we've just been putting that money in our daughter's college fund.
Wow.
So doing both of those. But his account is a good example of just him in his life. His most viral video is of it took 5 minutes to make, literally. It was just him with our daughter going to get her 2 month shots, and he doesn't like needles. He didn't want our daughter to cry, so he pretends to run away with her. It's been viewed like 4 million times. Yeah. So yeah. So there's so much range that you can have, and you can use it in different. For him, he's selling affiliate products, baby products. So that's a way that you can use it to make money. Plus the TikTok Creator Fund. As a writer, like affiliate marketing doesn't totally work for what I would do. Like even if I sold books through affiliate links, you don't really get that much money from them. So it
Mhm.
has to be through. It would have to be using them to go look at your blog posts or whatever, sell books, that kind of thing.
Mhm. Interesting. Wow.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's kind of what I'm wondering if a TikTok audience, you're saying that they want the codependency information. So if you were to write a book strictly about that topic, it makes me wonder if these people will then translate into not just viewers but also book buyers. Um that's interesting to think about,
Hmm.
and I it makes me wonder for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
just
a
Um
curious.
and I well, I just don't know if there's any other way to turn that into an income for a writer, unless you also had a niche where you were, doing something else like fitness or whatever, and then selling products that way. But um, I mean, you haven't seen any big spikes or anything in your book in your books that you have published now?
I haven't done anything with them. There's actually a relationship coach. Her name is it's like Canada's dating coach. When she sells thousands of books that way. And in her lives, uh, she's very good to be like, if people ask a question, she's like, here's the book of mine that you need to buy. Go to this link. So
Mm.
she generates a lot of traffic with that. And I've actually seen people who have memoirs, they'll have a video of theirs go viral that's about some aspect of their story, and then they're showing their book in it. So there's definitely a market there for writers if you are, you know, willing and able to do those little things and to hook your reader and grab them. I don't think I'm great enough to do those hooks, you know. And maybe if I'd already had something like a codependency book written, it would make so much. I could only give part of the advice, and then the rest of it you'd have to find in the book. That's what Canada's
Mhm.
dating coach does. So I think I will learn that as I go. I wish I had all of these books before I got on TikTok, but we'll see, we'll see. Plus, as you get bigger, brands and other places approach you to represent their stuff. So that's another aspect of it. But the thing I will say about TikTok is for sex writers, it's a very family friendly app. You can't even write the word sex. Um, if you're going to talk about sex things like sex education videos, you need to be very like vague about it. Like have the cat emoji if you're talking about the ladies. Um, so you're having to be. So that's a limit for our sex writers. Is that you somehow have to coach it in a very family friendly term.
I'm finding that same problem on Newsbreak. I mean, it's very hard to talk about sex addiction. I have to say serial cheater or
Yeah.
infidelity or, which really is not the same thing. So I'm not really able to talk about it. But yeah, that's what I've wondered is if I've seen people say their stuff gets taken down. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what boundaries that they are overstepping accidentally or on purpose that's causing that to happen.
Yeah, it's weird though because you'll see some things that have gone viral that are clearly racist or sexist. And those aren't being taken down because I would assume they'd be reported if they're going viral. But then I literally just saw a video the other day that showed it was a toy figurine of a naked man, totally naked, saw everything, had over 38,000 likes. So it was clearly, I mean, I would assume someone who had seen it would have reported it and it was still around. So I don't really, it's unclear why some things have been taken down, some things haven't. I have not had anything reported, but I've specifically avoided those topics.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I've wondered about that. In fact, there's somebody I watch that's she's more on the religious, so she does these skits about her talking to God, and she just mentioned that some of them are being taken down. I thought, wow, okay,
Hmm.
that surprised me, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I have seen a few. It's funny because depending on what you watch or whatever, it throws you into your for you, different
Hmm.
videos into your for you page. So when I first got on, it was throwing me all of these mom videos, and there was quite a few moms who were saying, their videos had been reported and they were working on in a bikini or whatever, and and so it is interesting to see that there does kind of seem to be like an age point. Like if you're 25 and and under and you're in a bikini, then you're like whatever. But there was a lot of that. But it's interesting to see, yeah, that it's so like family friendly. I write about sex, but I do it under a pen name, so I don't think that I would bring that into
Hmm.
TikTok at all because I don't want to shame my children. I don't know. Like it's just something that I don't want my mom to know. Like there's all those
Yeah.
things. So I don't really worry about that so much, but it is interesting that they kind of seem like they have a policing system, but it's obviously not perfect.
Right. You'll also notice a size difference. So it seems like bigger women who are wearing bikinis may be more likely to have their videos taken down than smaller women.
Interesting.
Well, that's just society in general, I guess. Like, you're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna find that
TikTok's not
everywhere.
any different. Yeah.
Yeah. So
There was a oh no, go ahead, Carrie.
no, no, that's fine. Go for it.
No, I was just gonna say that after Tara was talking about, the memoirist who were on TikTok. I do remember seeing one lady who was like, something about her husband cheated on her forever, and then her boyfriend and her were supposed to go to Italy for a month, and
Yes,
then
I
he said
seen
he
that
wasn't gonna
one.
go, and it's like Eat, Pray, Fuck My Life or something is
Yes,
what the book's
yes.
called.
Yep, I
And I
saw
was
that same
like,
video.
I really feel like, like, okay, yeah, I would read that book. And so that
Right.
was interesting. And so that popped in my mind and I was like, oh, maybe maybe that would also translate for people like me. Like I don't write a memoir, but all of my blog posts are personal related. So there
Mhm.
might be a way to kind of put that, and for you too, Carrie, to kind of put that together somehow.
Yeah, yeah, because the thought I'm having is it has to be sustainable, and that's the problem we always have with writing is how do we keep generating ideas? And now if you add, also you got to keep generating videos. I don't want to run out. And years ago, I used to write on psychological matters, and after 4 years of once a week, I only posted once a week, I ran out. I just didn't have any more ideas of where I wanted to go because you can't talk about clients. So it's not like I can say, oh, and I've lately been dealing with so and so struggling with such and such. So I just felt like I came to the end of what I had to say. So that's the concern whenever I start something. I want to say, can I do this for a long term? Because it's going to require that. It's going to require commitment. So for me, the best thing would be to just talk about life, where I'm at, what's
Mhm.
happening in my life, where I'm going to go, the trouble I'm running into, so,
Mhm.
or not running into.
And you could talk about writing. I mean, I've seen so many writing TikToks of like people's ideas or this is what I'm working on now. Again, I don't know what that translates to money wise, but I find those videos just fascinating, like seeing another writer's storyboard or how how they're self-publishing and why they're choosing to do that. There's a lot of but it's like you said, it's just talking about their lives.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So my wheels are turning is where I'm at. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. I've started to try. I may take them all down and start over. I may scrap it, but yeah, what I'm hearing from you is it's really good to go in with a plan.
Oh, I didn't have a plan at first. I just had a plan of I guess my plan was 2 to 3 videos. I'm just gonna try this. And I saw from doing my husband's that it would work. I was very angry at first that I would post a video of me with our same baby. It's the same child, and my videos would get like 10 views. And my husband, a video with our baby, it's like thousands. But it just wasn't that's not how I really wanted to be identified on the app either. Like I don't want to just be a mom. I'm so much more than just a mom. um and that's just how it worked. And I think there's something to be said about how we've all had shitty dads, and so we just a lot of people just love good dads. So and the bar for men is really low, so
Super
yeah.
low.
I mean, he's just like, he shows up to the shot appointment and commenters are like, it's so amazing he's there, and I'm like, oh god. Did he not have
That's
his
because most of those viewers are going to the shot appointment with their own baby by themselves. Like, that's what I
exactly
would think. Like,
exactly exactly.
Yeah. So any other questions, Ashley, you can think of for Tara before we wrap up today?
hold on just one second.
Oh, no problem. Anything, Tara, we haven't asked you today you think we should?
That's a good question. I feel like I took some notes to prepare. I feel like I've covered what I would like to share with people. Um, I I
Well,
guess
I have a question.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Um, what I mean, okay, so you said that you were camera shy. Obviously, you've gotten past that a little bit. So, what would be your advice for, either yourself back then or like you can say me now, where I'm just like nobody wants to see me on like there's no point, I'm very shy about that kind of thing. So what would you say to somebody who's kind of struggling with that?
So okay, so what I'd say about that is that you're never going to feel the motivation. And that was something that I really had to get over. Is I just thought I would wake up one day and I would feel motivated to post a TikTok. I'm going to feel not shy about doing this. But the more that I actually did it, the motivation followed. It's like putting on your running shoes. Like I got to put on my running shoes and then I'll be motivated to run. And TikTok really is that same way. And I still get I still get and feel insecure. I'm not used to looking at my face all that often. So like when I do videos, I'm like, my teeth look kind of weird, or like you can see that spot very easily. And I can be hard on my physical self because I'm just not used to looking at it as much as I do now. But the more I get comfortable, and the fact that people are not making mean comments, people are not saying that, that helps me even more. And I also have auditory dyslexia. I've had it since I was a kid. I had to do extensive speech therapy. So sometimes that still comes up. I recently said anniversary as anniversary or something like that in a video, and like a commenter said something about it, and that's can be a concern for me. Is sometimes I, even when I rewatch the video again, I may not hear that error, um, but I'm not getting made fun of for it. It's just sort of like someone mentioned it and like I laughed, in response. But I think the more I do it, the more comfortable I definitely feel. And when you're going viral over, your face, that again, that's a self-esteem booster too. And
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about TikTok, really, actually, because it's so, the people I watch, I like them because of their humanness. I'm not looking for perfection. In fact, I'm more turned off. I like there's one that I watch that's a comedian. I think she's in the UK area, and she sits at her desk doing some kind of sewing or something, and she's lip syncing to a comedian, and it's just hilarious to watch her. She's very vulnerable, very normal. She's a very average looking person, but that's what I find appealing about her, is that her typicalness. So
mhm.
yeah, I hear you. I think we are our worst critics, honestly. I mean, I know that I
Mhm.
am. I'm really, it's like, oh, what's my chin look like, and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Ugh, yeah, it's
And
funny
that
because
might,
here we do YouTubes, and you know what? I won't watch them. I've not watched a single one of them.
wow.
I have to watch them because I edit them, but
Right. Her
my
job, not
I
mine.
didn't I did start doing like a YouTube channel last year, and then obviously life gets in the way. But that was one of the things that I was concerned about. How dingy and dinky does my apartment look, and all these different things. And it really did get into the way where I was just like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I think I made like 3 videos, and I'm like, okay, this is on hold for a while. And it just kind of, but then you go on TikTok and you see everybody's kitchen, and like most of them are normal. They're not like
Right.
Pinterest kitchens.
Mhm.
So it does kind of give you a little bit of like, okay, maybe that could be the step up to then YouTube or something a little bit different. I like that it's messy. That's kind of my brand. I mean, my brand is girl, get your shit together, like at
Mhm.
Hot Mess Express or whatever. So it actually feels like it would fit, kind
Yes.
of.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah, to me,
definitely.
I think,
So
Ashley, you just come on and be yourself. This is what's
Yeah.
happening today with the kids, or this is the battle I have, or this is what I'm doing with my ex, or
God.
whatever.
Mhm.
So,
It
Yeah,
really
that'll
would
be
have worked
super
today because I
relatable.
posted I posted a cute little picture of Emmy. She's almost 2, and her hair was up all nice, and I just dressed her, and within like 2 minutes her hair is down, and she can see because it goes down all the way down here. She's walking around throwing stuff on the ground, and I was like, my life is a lie, okay? like Instagram is a lie.
see, that would be great to have a shot of what she looked like all put
Yeah.
together, and then say 2 minutes later, and then we'd all be laughing. Yep, that's my
Yeah.
kid. They do the same thing.
Yeah. That's definitely a place to start. What I would say too is if you're not comfortable with your voice, or like try doing like what Carrie mentioned, the lip syncing. Those can be just like fun
Mhm.
to do, like the silly sounds or playing with that. I just think for you, it just sounds like perfectly relatable.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there
So
any
basically
place?
just get over yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is like it's hard. It's so hard and uncomfortable. And actually, you're beautiful. So I mean, like I look at
Thank
you and
you.
I'm like, why would you even be like just put that beautiful face on TikTok,
I know.
like
Well, this is podcast day look. Ashley don't look like this every day.
And I think, I mean, that's the fun thing. It's totally okay. There is an effect on TikTok. It's an eyelash effect. I use that. I honestly use that for a bit, even though it's like kind of silly. Like if you have a hand over here, the eyelash will be over the hand. But it made me like feel like comfortable because some days like
Mhm.
and now I don't care. Like I just do videos without makeup and I'm comfortable. It just took me time
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah.
And Carrie always looks so put together. I mean, like,
She does. Like,
maybe
I get
that's
on here and
difficult
my
for
hair
you.
is all like this, and I'm like, "Carrie, what the hell? You look so
Oh,
nice."
I do this every day. That's just me. But you guys know that I wear a wig, so that's easy. You throw it on,
Right?
ready to
Yeah,
go.
I'm a little jealous of that.
Yeah, yeah. Called the wig shop down the street. But Tara, is there any tutorials online with besides the coach that you like pages you'd point to that has been really helpful to you?
I haven't used any.
Okay.
I honestly, I think the benefit of the app is just like going through and like, uh, checking out what people are doing. I will say that I searched for the one article I looked up was different ways to do captions on TikTok. There is an app called Captions that you can use that will you you save the video, you load it up to captions, and then it'll automatically generate for you. But what I've heard and also read is that TikTok prioritizes your captions if you do them yourselves in the app. That they will include that text in the algorithm and push whatever your topic is out to people in their for you page. So because of that, I don't use that app anymore. I take the tedious time to do the closed captioning myself. But
I would have wondered if because you said you screenshot it, saved to your phone, you could actually then can you take notes and drag them in, or do you still have to type them in?
you can do copy and paste for you're not dragging them in, but you can do copy and paste. And that was just recent. When I first started, you couldn't do copy and paste at
Okay,
all.
okay.
It's not always and then you have to figure out how to set the duration. It's a time consuming process that really TikTok should fix because you
Yeah.
should make an app that's more accessible to all people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
No, I wondered about. I thought, oh my goodness, they're taking a tiny phone and typing in exactly what they said, and then they're changing the duration for every single.
yeah, yeah, it's time
Hmm.
consuming.
Does the app work on, an iPad? Have you tried that?
I don't have an iPad, so I don't know. They do have
Okay.
a desktop version, and you can now schedule TikToks. That's totally new. You couldn't
Oh.
schedule before.
Yeah, in fact,
Mhm.
I wondered because I have been on TikTok on my computer. I wondered if you could type in and do a little editing from the computer instead of the phone.
I don't think of editing you can do on the computer yet. I just think you can save the video and then upload it to schedule later. Um, but there's plenty more people who would know more than me.
Okay, okay. That's what I found is this app is very sophisticated. There's a lot of learning to it. So when I
Yeah.
see those videos where people like doing a lot of motion and change, I'm like now highly impressed. They spent a
I
long
just
time.
learned a transition the other day and I mean it honestly took me forever. Like some days I just feel like a total idiot. Like why is this taking so long? Like but you just got to do it the first time. Like the video was you're doing uh, at the beginning and end of when you talk, you move the phone really fast. So then when you go and adjust the clips and trim them, you trim them both so you're on the blurry place. So that's how you snap for that transition. That took me literally forever. Like I would not move the phone fast enough or I would stop recording and forget to move the phone and it just can be a laborious process. But when you're doing lots of videos, you can just add that in to make it more interesting or a little fresh. Uh, Honestly, I don't recommend doing that for every video. Just trying to get 2 to 3 videos every day is enough. If you can just do two
Mhm.
to three crappy videos, great. At least you're doing something. And TikTok, I'm finding is generating. I'm fine as my primary social media platform today. I'm not really worried about the other ones, and that's a benefit too. Carrie, I know that you're on multiple platforms, and Ashley, I've seen you on Instagram. Are you on other things too?
Yeah, it too much sometimes, I think.
That's my other question is I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and
Oh God.
Instagram. And yeah, it's
Now
so,
add in YouTube and TikTok,
yeah,
and we have multiple podcasts, and it's like, wow,
right.
I
Yeah,
have
her
no
and I are
time for
looking to
anything.
launch a few more podcasts. So yeah, and then I want to finish a book and still writing multiple times on a weekend and the blogging, and it just becomes insane. So
Mhm.
that's what her and I were saying before you came on, is we just don't have a lot of time. So that's what I'm wondering is back to sustainability. What can I do for a long time that I can maybe, now that I hear it in schedule, it'd be nice to make several in a row,
Mhm.
put them to the computer, schedule them, and then have them upload, and maybe keep them simple. I don't know,
You
but
can also save them
Yeah,
as your
that's
drafts, and do that from your phone, and then you could just set a reminder on your phone to go in it and post it. So you can
okay,
save it as drafts. That's a way to do it too.
okay, all right.
well, yeah, we use an app for our company. It's called Hey Woofy. They actually allow you on that app, Carrie, to schedule TikToks.
Oh, they
It was
do? That's awesome.
I have my TikTok account linked to that
Okay,
app right now.
yeah,
It doesn't post it for you, but what it does is it gives you a reminder on your phone telling you that you're supposed to go in and post it at this
okay.
time or whatever. Um, but yeah, I've done a little bit of research. I don't even remember the woman's name, but she has a YouTube series and she's like a coach or something kind of like that too for TikTok, and just talking about batching videos. Like
Mhm.
set it all up and film them all. Like, is that something that you do, Tara? I mean, or
I
do you
when
just
I
film them
can,
every day?
when I
Yeah.
can batch, I totally will batch. But like I'm a mom and I work from home and so sometimes it's
Right.
just I take whatever time I have just to do a video from start to finish because otherwise I wouldn't be able to finish it at all. So, but
Mhm.
I have done some batching, but just not a lot. I just sort of I don't worry about doing long involved videos. I just try to do my 2 to 3 a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
It's very
a
cool.
lot
This
to
has
chew
been
over.
so
It
informative.
has been.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited for you, and I've been
Thank you.
really, really love watching your stuff. And interestingly enough, lately, Tara, when I get on, you're the first person that shows on my feed consistently. You're up,
Pretty
and
cool.
it's been really fun to see that. Yeah. So
Yeah. Tara, what's your handle so that our followers can go follow you on TikTok?
It is at Tara period relationship coach. One word.
we can make sure we can add that in the show notes so people can find you.
Hmm.
Yep. I'm gonna go follow her. I re-downloaded the app while we were talking because
Well, thank you
like
so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate
Yeah, thanks
it.
for asking. I'm glad that worked out. I'm glad could help.
Yeah, you're welcome. This has been
Yeah,
fascinating, super fascinating.
yeah. Honestly, I would tell you to get off all the other social media platforms and get on TikTok. That's honestly what I would say.
you're
Um,
killing me.
because
Wow.
I'm just gonna tell you that.
Well,
I just finally
that's
crossed over 300 on Instagram, and it's taken me hard work since November to get 100
That
followers.
was my main, yeah, that was my main thing is like you can actually get a lot of followers in a short amount of time, a lot short amount of time.
Wow. Wow.
it's definitely something to consider. I think it might fit my brand. It might be a better home for Gist than Instagram. And the Gist account exists on Instagram. I have done nothing with it because I was like, I don't know what to do here, you
Hmm.
know?
I think
So
you do great on TikTok, honestly, Ashley. I really do. I think you have a
Yeah.
lot to say. And, I'm thinking, especially now that I'm back to working on the memoir, I think that I could just start telling my story of this awful situation that's happened. And he's stalking me too. So I can talk about that. So
you guys gotta
lovely.
learn how to pick better ones.
I
Yeah,
mean,
talk to us about that, Ashley.
yeah,
Tara's got a better one now.
yeah,
I'm so happy for you. And you found him
thank
on
you.
Tinder too.
I
I find
know.
that you give me hope.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say we'll say goodbye to for this episode, but thank you so much, Tara. It was
Oh,
awesome
thank
to meet
you.
you and great to talk to you.
Yeah, very, very wonderful. So, bye, guys. Thanks so much for listening in, and be sure to check out the show notes.
All right, thank you.
Yep, bye guys.